Hi, Jennifer. I see you online. Can you please confirm you can hear me from in the room?
I can hear you. Yes.
Awesome. Great. Thank you so much. The trustees are still in their executive session downstairs and they should be up shortly.
Okay. And
Thank you.
is this okay? I mean, if I don't have my camera on and I just want to listen,
Oh, yeah. Is this Jana?
this is Jana.
Yeah, you can, of course, just listen. I might mute you so we don't get any feedback from you as a participant.
No, no, please do
If you
that. Yeah.
do want to share anything when the mayor opens up public comment, please feel free to unmute yourself or raise your hand so I can unmute you.
Okay. No, go ahead and unmute me in case I sneeze or burp or something.
Okay, that sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's been like, can you please try to catch me? I was debating sliding.
So she left and didn't come up here?
I put her in
Ah,
Facebook, you know,
yeah,
just in case.
yeah.
No, she's
Jeez.
already
Ah,
gone.
Wow.
You want me a Coke?
I
No,
want-
actually, I don't drink Coke.
Yeah, good girl. I'm okay. Like I am not okay, but I'm okay. I say like I've never been like I'm really fine.
Yeah.
But Holly started this week and my focus is there and that's part of the burying, but that's part of also coming out of it, like having someone who's strong in that role and that I can focus on. She was by me. That was been listening to me. That was a lot of people. I'm
Outside there.
That's so great.
excited for you to meet her.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
All those people.
There's one thing I'm unsure about.
We ran late. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I'm Luke completely. Yep. Super slammed with work. Yeah. All the works. Like, I basically have two jobs as. So I'm not gonna. Cut something out. But just some like. Yeah. You know, I don't eat crack very often. Still stuff. I still suffer. Still suffer from Luca. She's oh, she's also my boss. So she like fiction.
Hey, everybody, thanks for your patience. We were in a special meeting and we're here now.
Santa's here.
Need another minute or so till we get started. Good and boring. Good and boring. Well, except for the teens part, that'll be awesome. A lot of it, the rest of it's pretty. Oh, Are you guys still? Hey, John, are you guys still? And Macy, you guys still getting that going? Thank you. I cannot find my Civic Web. So I'll go ahead and start the meeting either way. Um, Hello, everyone. Thanks for your patience. We had a meeting earlier, just finished. No decisions were made. It's April 15th, 2025, 7:14. We're starting the open meeting now. Macy can do the roll for this meeting.
Mayor Billy,
I'm here.
Mayor Pro Tem Sterling,
Here.
Trustee Corvalon,
Doesn't sound like she's,
She's probably still driving home.
I see you.
Tanya, I see you. We can't hear you. Just chime in. Yeah.
For the record, we see her online. She might be taking a break from the first session. Trustee Larson is absent this evening. Trustee Maris? Here. Trustee Miller
Here.
and Trustee Ty.
Here.
Thank you.
Thanks, Macy. Thanks, everyone. With that, we'll move into our consent agenda. There's 3 items. There's warrants from recent checks. There's meeting minutes from our last meeting 2 weeks ago, and then there's a ratification of a letter of intent with JP Morgan. Any questions or comments? Probably go to John or Macy for the minutes.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
A motion and a second for the consent.
Mayor Pro Tem Sterling,
Yes.
Trustee Maris,
Yes.
Mayor Billy,
Yes.
Trustee Ty,
Yes.
Trustee Miller,
Yes.
and Trustee Corvalon. I did see you on the screen just a minute ago. Are you with us?
Can't hear you, Tanya. I hear.
I think she's having just some technical issues and is unable to participate in this vote.
No worries.
The motion passes.
Thank you. With that, we have staff reports from all departments, looks like. Questions, clarifying questions from, or any questions from the trustees for the staff? Don't hear anything. Is there anything, John or the town staff you want to?
I had a couple things I just want to point out. First, our staff has been working super hard. They're doing a great job. We've been in a time of transition, and Macy especially has been taking on a lot of work, and she's had a heavy workload. And so I just want to thank them. A couple things I just wanted to point out to you in the individual staff reports. One, in the town treasurer staff report, you'll see that our audit work is largely completed. We are way ahead of schedule from where we were last year and are hopeful that will be done in May, which is really good for the town. So I just wanted to point that out, and thanks for Rita for working on that. In Troy's staff report, you'll also see he broke down his citation data a little bit more than he has in the past, which is super great for us. You can see that he's had a very impressive increase in the amount of citations that he's dealing with in cases that he's dealing with related to specifically the speeding that's happening in Nederland. And he breaks down like the average speeds of cited drivers. And I think his report does a really good job of kind of talking about the speeding conditions in Nederland and also his work, which has really become heavy in the court space. So we're kind of looking at that and trying to make sure that he's got sustainable workload there. The other thing I just wanted to point out in Britt's staff report, Britt and Cass have taken on the project to build the new website. There is a mock-up of it in their staff report if you didn't take a look at it, and I think it's pretty cool. We just wanted to point that out, and if you guys had any comments or anything you'd like to see different or added, we're happy to, this is the time to do that work. So the next phase is to transition all of the information from our website to the new website. That will be happening probably the next month or so, and then we'll have a fully functional draft version of that site.
Thank you. Thanks, John. Thanks, everyone. There, it seems like there's been a bit of a thing, and I'll bring it up. I've seen it, I saw it on NetHeads. People are having a hard time paying their bills.
Yes.
So is that being?
Our payment system is managed. We have a software platform that does that. And some folks are having problems with what's called a token, and that's the security measure that they use to secure the payment. We think it's browser related, and I don't know more than that, but we did submit a technical support ticket last week on this item, and I think we'll have it resolved tomorrow. Janet has made a couple of corrections to bills that were really affected to this, just to make sure people aren't getting late fees if they're having a hard time getting into the system.
Is there
Hey.
a preferred browser?
Britt
I
might have
was-
an update.
Yeah, I was just gonna add, what also happened, there was two different issues, is the company who sends out this information gave the wrong link. And so it was taking people to an inappropriate link. And so essentially we've had to send the people the correct link, which will be updated on our social media. But that's not working for everyone, where this second like token issue is coming up. So we're hoping to have it good by the next bills, and we've notified them of the correct link. So that's part of the issue as well.
Is there one browser that seems to work better than another or that people, because he said it might be a browser issue. Have you guys?
Yeah, I would
pinpointed
say
which?
avoid Firefox. I know some people still use that, like use your Microsoft Edge or Google's. They tend to not have that, like they have security measures, but not that like extra security measure that seems to be kind of triggering this, is what I've seen at least.
Great. Thanks.
Yeah, and
Brett.
if anyone has issues, or you know of anyone having issues, just send them our way. We are trying to work through this, so hopefully this doesn't happen next quarter.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
The mock website looks great, Brett. Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, excited to send you guys more updates as they come. Obviously, it's just a very beginning, but it's very exciting. We're really excited about it. In the
Yeah.
meantime, Cass and I are kind of working through our own website to keep making those updates.
Yeah, and my only feedback was whether or not we could incorporate some of the yes and imagery from the branding. Remember it was like this and this, they had
Yeah.
them in pictures kind of a thing. But otherwise this is looking so clean and easy to read. And so thank you you and Cass for spearheading that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll make sure to add that in as we kind of move forward with our project manager.
Groovy.
Thanks, Britt. Any more questions or comments for the staff?
Nothing heard back on the Cross Gold Mine after we submitted our letter?
We
I'm assuming.
submitted the letter, and I did have a follow-up conversation with the case manager from Dreams.
Mm-hmm.
They are engaged in their technical review process now, and we are listed as I think they have to make the determination of party status, but we will be updated as the case moves forward.
Okay.
I was
Great.
going to put this in my staff report, but I did go to the community meeting
Mhm.
last week
Mhm.
on that, and they did say that they are required to respond to every public comment, but I explicitly asked them to issue a public response to our letter. So then they said they would.
Groovy.
Thanks, Luke. Well, with that, any more comments or questions on staff reports? If not, we'll move into the BOT reports. I apologize I didn't write one this week, but I attended the Peak to Peak Housing and Human Services, P2P HHA meeting last Thursday, I think it was. And I couldn't attend all of it, but attended the first part, and I apologize, I don't have my computer with me, so I don't remember her name, but there was someone from the county who's one of the head people with the emergency response, emergency management, and she was speaking a lot about just some of the nuances and the specifics about our county. Apparently, we are just kind of well known, sadly, around the state for all our emergencies that we seem to have, all the unique brands of different types of emergencies Boulder County has. But she was able to talk a lot about resources. She was very specific about things up here in the mountains, and definitely, knows personally a lot of the people that, she needs to know for sake of all the systems we have in place for emergencies. And she's very lighthearted and has a good sense of humor. And I feel like that's probably a good person for such a role, because I think she sees a lot of terrible things. But it was good to have her speak to us. That was really the only thing I was in the meeting for. Last Tuesday, Tanya and I went down to the BVSD Board of Education meeting and gave public comment about the district's decision about one principal for both schools, and just kind of more of an integrated approach, and one principal, two assistant principals, and a dean at the middle high school. And so we gave our comments, and I had attended the meeting the week before at the middle school right before I came to this meeting, and then there was a pretty much better attendance that Thursday at the middle high school. I went to the elementary school. So we're inviting the Board of Education and the higher administration of BVSD to come up here, and as we talked about, we'd like to host a town hall and kind of play more of a facilitator, mediator role, and just kind of as Diana, who's in the audience here, had said, she used the word healing. I think like we can possibly create an environment where people can feel heard and speak, and since we're not BVSD, and give people some a platform to be heard, and at some point when the final decision is made, we're going to work to make it succeed because we need it to. That's my report for now. Some of y'all turned them in, thank you, and some didn't. If you didn't, do you mind just giving a quick update?
This is Tanya.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I went with Billy last week. We did get some good FaceTime with some of the administrators, so hopefully they'll follow up with us and keep the conversation going with the school's situation. The NDDA spent a bit of time discussing the process for their event grants that they give, and I think we're basically going to stick with the format of last year. Probably give out 70% of the monies coming up next month to anybody who wants to have an event. They can come to the NDDA, and basically they have a guaranteed $1,000 from the NDDA to help put on the event, and then another 1,000 if they need to hire security or flaggers. So I think we'll have another round in the fall in case there's some fall events being planned. And then I think they approved all the bylaws and stuff we talked about here at the BOT last month. And if I remember correctly, that might be it, other than the fact that I was trying to get some interest around a drone show on the 4th of July. Did some phone calls and got some budgets. And in the end, they didn't think it was well worth money, so they're not going to do it. So summer concert series will be happening on the 4th of July, though, so that's something to look forward to. And that's it, I think. On another note, just off topic, but still a Tom thing, the farmers market is actively looking for a market manager right now. So if anyone knows anybody who might want a part-time job, connect with me or the farmers market webpage.
That's a paid position, Tanya?
Yes, the paid
Okay.
position. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
But they have to be available every other Sunday in person. Otherwise, it's remote.
Every other Sunday. How much does it pay? Do you know off the
It's
top of your head?
based on experience. So it's a salary,
Okay.
and from May to January, we were proposing between 20 and 28,000. And it's part-time in the sense that this is the busiest season until about October, and then it goes about, so it's like 25 hours now, and then October it dives down to about 10 or 15, and then if a person continued from January to about March, it's also about 10 to 15 hours, really to April, and then it starts ramping up once the market starts. So it's cyclical. You work harder in the summer and less in the winter, but it's salary.
Okay.
It's just too
Thanks.
hard to quantify hourly the work
Sure.
people do. That's it.
Thanks, Tanya. Appreciate
You're
it. Luke?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to attend last ProSab meeting, so I don't have a good update there. But I did attend the school board meeting, or not school board, but the principal meeting at the middle high school that followed the one at the elementary school, and we had both Robin Fernandez and Rob Price there. And Robin did, issue an apology about the process, which I thought was really, impactful. And they announced the intention to form like an advisory board committee that would be made up of members of the community and like PTA and so forth to kind of help advise this process as it moves along. And I heard from Caleb and Gavin that they've had a really high level of interest there. I think, I can't remember the number, but more than enough people. So they hopefully that turns into a good working group. And maybe that's something we could work into the community, town hall thing if we had the working group together at that point. So that's encouraging that people are wanting to get involved. Rob, I talked to Rob Price a little bit afterwards, a little bit more specifically about the middle high school and, what can we do to help that school, just because they're struggling with, teachers and funding, and, it's a tough situation. And I think that there's something that we might be able to do as the town to create a funding source. And we can't, there's not enough people in town to like create a tax. It is a common thing for smaller schools to be able to do, is you have like education tax that goes directly towards funding to that school district. But because our town size is a little small, I think that's not quite, and our taxes are already pretty high. But I think it's something we could explore, like, something like the rec district or the library district, where there's, I don't know if it's like a mill levy kind of thing, but where we had a small tax increase on people, basically the people who attend Nederland Valley schools, that could go directly towards funding, specifically for additional teachers at the school, because they're really struggling. The FT problem for the middle school is very real. So I'm not sure exactly how we get that ball rolling, but that's something I'd like for us to work on, and I'll try and get that conversation going amongst us. I also went to like I said, to the meeting with the mine at the Caribou Room last week. That got heated at a few points. It was pretty intense. There was sheriff's department was there, and security, and so I think a lot of people didn't want to speak up because they felt a little intimidated. But we did have some members of the community that did speak up. Mike Dye gave a really good talk, Jill Drees, and a lot of other people. So I think there's some good community engagement there. I think it's just important that we, as a town, just kind of keep our eye on, are the processes being followed correctly? I think that's the main thing that we needed to do. So that's all I got.
Thanks, Luke.
Just real quick, I'm going to call your attention, John, in my staff report, or my board report. There's a point in there, Dr. Cog is wanting to know whether or not municipalities want to use their data for affordable housing grants, or just being able to access, other funding streams. Now, we've gone through our own process and we've had our own housing, but, study and everything, but it's an option. The the thing is that it has to come before the board within 60 days. Like we have to discuss it and we have to decide and then go back to Dr. Cog and let them know that. So if that's at all something that you're interested in, just let me know. The links and everything are in there in terms of the additional data that it adds. I don't know that it adds a huge amount, but if you think strategically that's worth us pursuing, then just let me know.
I'll schedule a time to talk about it with you.
Okay, sounds amazing.
Any more questions for each other on our reports? Thanks, everyone. With that, we'll go to our first informational item of the evening, the Youth Leadership Academy Listen Longer presentation. Max and company.
Is the mic on?
You want to push the little push button there at the middle, and green LED light.
Test.
And you got to kind of have it right near your
I'll
mouth.
play with it a little. Okay, there we go. Thank you all for having us. We really appreciate it. We have some exciting items to present about this evening. Just give me 2 seconds to get set up real quick because we're gonna ask you all to get up in a little bit and move around with us. So bear with me.
By the way, it's nice to see many of you again. We got to spend some time over the summer last year, huh?
All right. Well, hello, and thank you again, members of the BOT. We really appreciate your time this evening and having us on your agenda. For those of you whom I don't know and I don't know, my name is Max Marshausen. I'm the community mobilizer for Teens Inc. So I oversee Mountain Coalition for Youth, the Youth Leadership Academy, and the Youth Advisory Board. Where am I? This evening, I'm here with YLA to share with you a project the youth have been pushing forward in our community called Listen Longer. The project consists of 2 chairs, much like you see here, except they are joined at the arm. And on the joined arm, there's a QR code that you can scan, and it will bring you to a series of questions. Those who sit in the chair can choose a variety of categories to go through some questions. We have anything from just authentic connection to mental health, substance use. It's really designed to create a safe space in our community for youth and adults to come together and have these conversations. And a lot of the work we do in our community is rooted in upstream prevention. And we know one of the greatest forms of prevention to be listening. So in other words, listening is prevention. This project initially started and successfully launched in Salida. And when I shared it with the youth here, they were like, wow, this sounds amazing. Let's do it in here, but make it in Nederland. So please give your attention to the incredible youth from YLA as they share more and walk you through a live demo of our Listen Longer project.
It's Misty Evanson. I'm a freshman at Ned High, and here's our why for the Listen Longer project. Our Listen Longer project aims to create a space for constructive conversations, as well as to foster important connections and support between youth and trusted adults, facilitating in a more secure and informed community. Our focus is on open communication, creating a safe space for discussion, and strengthening protective factors for the well-being of our community. Here's the extended issue, though. We also know that issues that often plague our youth are things that adults in rural communities can struggle with too. This is why we want to emphasize that these chairs are for the use of everybody. They are built by youth to be shared, experienced, and respected by everyone. Protective factors work for everybody, and it is never too late to start building that protective muscle and strive for happiness and connection. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Lauren Schrader. I'm a senior over at Nederland Middle Senior High School. I got to show you my strengthened public speaking skills here. Thank you, Nicole.
Ah, girl.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about our goals. The number one goal for us is establishing connection. This is driven by that protective factor to increase access to trusted adults. So when we give people that space to foster those connections and find their support system, we strengthen connection through our whole community. Our second goal here is going to be offering support and resources. The protective factor here is going to be strengthening access to mental health resources and providing a safe space. We have plenty of those opportunities in NED, but not as many as we should. So the goal for YLA was to bring another resource that people might resonate a little bit more because they can have those conversations and connect one-on-one. Our third goal here is going to be building and strengthening the community muscle of the SEL. Not everyone has experience with social emotional learning. Luckily, it is being introduced over at our middle school and our elementary school, but it's a muscle all of us can work to build. So this chair gives you that chance to have that space for constructed conversations and understanding how it feels to engage that SEL muscle. So this is our design. It should be, I want to be able to kind of talk through the different, that's okay, no worries. It was designed by my sister illustrator. She works right now at a design firm down in Denver. So she was really excited to help us make this design. We all had a meeting and we talked about our ideas and she brought them to fruition. She helped us visualize and that was
Next slide, I think, Macy.
It's John.
Who's driving? Oh, yeah. Okay, sorry.
This is our one visual thing. So I want to make sure you guys can see it.
But we do have it on our.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have in our packet. A lot of us aren't just, we aren't reading our phones and ignoring you. We're actually looking at the design right now.
Sorry. So you're gonna see those two chairs. In theory, they're connected by the arm, but that is hard to sketch up. So they're gonna be connected by the arm. The Ned twist we were talking about, those are actually gonna be made of skis. Those are gonna be donated by Eldora because when you come to Ned, you gotta feel the community and our Ned culture. So you're gonna see that comfortable lighting. It makes it a little bit more cozy and welcoming. You're gonna see that plaque over there. That is gonna give some information on what this project is. We talked with Nikki and we are fully cleared to have this at Chipeta. So now it's about finding where that's gonna go. So it's all very exciting stuff. There's going to be that QR code like Max talked about. You can see that the arm raises as well, and that makes it accessible for any form of disability. You can go right on that side. Hopefully we can have, I know we also talked about having some aid on the QR code as well for maybe auditory as well. So super exciting. That's going to be our design. I'll tell it.
Hi, my name is Gideon. I'm a senior at Ned Middle Senior High School, and I'm here just to give a better idea of our timeline for Listen Longer. So in March, April of last year, the idea for the project was conceived based off of a similar project completed in Chaffee County, Colorado. In November of 2024, planning and design started working with designer illustrator to finalize design and create the model. On December 20th, our presentation finished with final design model and plan for funding outside assistance clearly outlined. We were planning to present to the board before spring break of this year, but as that's such a hectic time, we were never able to do that. And so before summer, so at around June 1st, we plan to collect necessary funding and hands-on work. We plan to reach out to Salto and or create some sort of car wash to fund this. And we're hoping for a mid-June to early July installation date. And finally, for mid-June, so June 20th at latest, the installation of the chair reaches final completion.
Thank you.
All right. I'm Abby. I'm a junior at Nederland. And so this is talking a little bit about the future. So installing these chairs in Chipeta is a great start for what we hope can become a greater and farther reaching project We want to reach as many people as we can with the message of community, connection, and having the hard conversations, but also the fun ones. And so we're hoping to do this by installing more chairs throughout the Nederland area. For example, we're thinking of putting one in the Mud Lake area. And overall, continuing this project and other projects like this are important to preserve a feeling of community in Nederland and also to foster a connection between youth and adults, as we've been talking about.
Thank you.
So my name is Eliza and I'm a junior at NMSHS. So the last stage of this is going to be the install of the chairs. So we're aiming to build them. We're aiming to create sort of a volunteer opportunity and bring in more members of the community to help us build this, which also kind of ties into our role of promoting community cohesion. And some things we're going to consider throughout the process are ADA, compatibility. So just making it accessible for people with disabilities. We're also going to make sure that it will be able to last through difficult weather, as is common. And we're also going to make sure that the feet of the chairs are anchored into the ground so that they can't be moved or destroyed or anything. So hopefully they'll be built to last a long time. And throughout the whole process, we're going to try and get as many youth involved in the building as we can so that we can remain part of it. So yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Hi, my name is Amelie, and I'm a senior at Nederland Middle High. So this concludes our presentation bit. And now we're going to move into a little bit of a demo of these chairs. So I want to ask a volunteer from the board to sit down with me just to answer a few questions.
I'll do it.
Yay, Nay Nicole!
Good decision. Good call.
Awesome. Okay. Oh wait, I'm scared. I don't want to pull the cord.
Okay, so we just mic'd ourselves up, community. Amelie, will you run through the instructions one more time real quick?
Good. Haha. Okay.
So because I won at paper, rock, scissors, I get to ask Amelie a question.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is one thing you want to start doing, stop doing, and keep doing?
Okay. I really want to start journaling. I think it's a really good hobby to have. Something I want to keep doing is going to bed early because I think it's a flex and it's also really good for my mental health. So I'm going to keep doing it. And stop doing, I want to stop being on my phone right before I go to bed.
Ooh,
It's a big one.
those are good.
Yeah. All right, my turn. If you could take anyone to dinner, dead or alive, who would it be and where would you take them?
Oh goodness, if I could take anyone to dinner.
We're digging deep.
We're digging deep. We're going there. I would say it would probably, I'm gonna do two, and they have passed on. It would be my grandparents, just to say, look where I am now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would definitely take them. And where would I take them? Crosscut.
That's valid.
Yeah, for sure. They've got good wine.
Mhm. I would know.
I know you shouldn't know, but so yeah, that's where I take them.
Awesome.
One more?
Do we have time to do all 5? Would that be okay? Or do we want to keep it to 3?
Let's do, I like your judgment. Let's do 3.
Okay.
So, okay, here's my next one.
Last. Okay.
What is your fondest childhood memory?
Aw. Probably. So for all my birthdays in elementary school, my mom would make homemade carrot cake. Delicious with like lemon zest frosting. Just like it's so good. And so I would always make it with her too. So I have a really fond memory of just like spending time with her in the kitchen and like the house smelling like cake, and then getting to eat it. It was probably really, really nice.
A lovely, lovely memory.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. That concludes the little.
Oh, go ahead and ask me one more.
You want one more?
Yeah.
Oh,
This is
okay.
fun.
Perfect. Perfect. I'm gonna say, how do you define happiness, Nicole?
I define happiness as, so you're never always going to be like 100% happy every day, right? Things happen. But can you find joy in a lot of the things that happen to you, even the not so great things? Like, what's the learning? What's the joy? Is there some consistency across that? And then I think ultimately it kind of gets you to a happy place. So I don't know if that's a circumventing answer, but I would say it's balance, it's finding joy in things and finding the light in the dark.
I really like that. Yeah, all the little things can still bring joy.
All the little things. I am so proud of all of you. So proud of you, not just from a public speaking standpoint, which you guys are rocking it, but I'm just so proud of you for taking this initiative. You make me proud. Keep doing it.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure. You can do as much as you need. Other one?
Awesome. Yeah, that should, yes, too. Okay. I think it's on. Is it on? Yeah, it's on. Okay, want to do rock, paper, scissors?
Sure.
Okay. Right, you want?
Sure.
So you get to ask.
Me go first?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, cool. I think this one wasn't read. What motivates you?
I think I am motivated to leave every community and space that I find myself in a little bit better than I found it. And in addition to that, leaving each space feeling like I've grown and maybe become a better person as I exit it. I think that's mine.
That's a great motivation.
Awesome.
Let's all have that motivation. Oh my God.
I'm gonna ask the same. If you could take anyone to dinner, dead or alive, who would it be and where would you take them? It's a great question.
That's funny. Yeah. So it'd be my dad who died soon. It'll be 29 years ago. And he really wasn't much of a healthy eater, so I'd bring him to Mustard's Last Stand, because
Yeah.
he'd want a hot dog. That's the kind of food he loved.
That'd be
But
good.
it'd be good to see him for
Yeah.
sure.
That's awesome. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you
Do
want
I?
to do the
Oh
next
yeah. Oh yeah. I wasn't sure if we had the same one or different ones. Oh, this is great. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Well, in 5 years, I will be just out of college, maybe in my last year, I think. I can't even do the math. But I am hoping maybe I'm in an internship in a design firm, or honestly, even just traveling and soaking up every second in my 20s and finding my communities and feeling that community support and supporting those around me. But I'd really like to be doing design in a sustainable way. So I'd like to be honing in on that and seeing if I can find a cool firm that values that sustainable design for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds like a family
Yes,
career.
definitely is.
My dad was actually a graphic designer, so
Yeah, exactly. Really, that's so cool. Do you want to do one more?
Sure.
So we do two each?
I think
I can
all
ask
these
you
have been
this.
read. Oh,
I can ask you one more
okay.
if you want. What is your fondest childhood memory?
Oh. I have to think about this for a while. When I heard you ask that question, I was like, oh crap, I don't even know if I come up. I guess I can think, I used to help my grandmother. She had 24 grandkids, but we lived kind of close to them and to her. And she would make all these different Christmas cookies with kolachkis and Scandinavians, but they would demand lots of finely crushed walnuts. And she had this little glass thing with a thing, and you would turn it and you put walnuts in and you would turn it and crush. And so I would sit there and crush walnuts probably for hours or, probably for minutes, but it seemed like hours and just hang out with my grandmother. And we were really close. And then she would make these amazing cookies.
Awesome.
That
And then
was
you got cookies out of it too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. That's a
Totally.
really good one. Okay.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you so
Lauren,
much.
right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Are we, Max, do you want to take one more?
Good. Yeah, just thank you all again. We appreciate it. As you can see, our youth are really fired up about this project. If there's any questions, I'm here for some of those. And also, right now, our tentative launch date, provided funding and then everything else goes up to speed, is July 1. We are currently collecting the skis. We have most, if not all of them. We've gotten donations from community members, and then the transfer station and Boulder Sports Recycler. With Eldora closing, they said now is probably going to be the better time to get some of those. So I think maybe we have 3 or 4 pairs left before this first set of chairs is ready to go. And then we'll be moving forward. We're hoping to make this like a big community day to bring out youth and anyone else in the community that would be willing and eager to jump in and help with this installation. I think it could be a really awesome opportunity to build that community connection and share the intention behind the project. So yeah, thank you again for your time.
Yeah, and I know you had talked about, Chipata Park, maybe Mud Lake. Love for you guys to think through other sites that you could launch.
Yeah.
Let's put a plan in place, 5-year plan.
Yeah.
All the things, all the places we want to launch.
When we approached Nikki the first time in December, she was like, I want you to dream bigger and make 8 chairs. And we're like, whoa, okay, all right, here we go. So the intention is there. We talked to Electra at the library. She wants a set at the library as well. So I think there's a lot of buy-in and excitement around this project. So it's just going to be a matter of getting skis in to build chairs.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, lovely Mr. Ty here has offered to help us learn how to build.
Yes, and again, if you need a tool, I probably have it.
We need that too. And the hope is that YLA can learn that process and then kind of be an in-house project. And as chairs are ready, we put them together and plop them in.
Excellent. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you all.
That's awesome. Thank you all for being here and presenting. Great presentations, all of you. And great. It was good to get a live example of it.
Yeah. Awesome.
Definitely.
Thank you again. Appreciate you all.
Thanks for your time.
Absolutely.
Thank you, guys.
What's that?
Tanya raised her hand.
Oh, Tanya, did you want to say something? Sorry.
Well, I want to say the presentation was awesome because I was a little bit confused about everything. So the questions are on the QR code. Is that correct, or like where are the questions coming from?
Yeah, the questions will live on the QR code. We're using Bitly because that is just once you update the QR code through the Bitly site, you don't need to go put a new sticker down. And the questions will live on the MCY website.
And you guys are you have 5 questions now. Are you gonna kind of like, is the idea like every year you guys kind of update it, or new people put new questions in that are on your board, or?
So the idea is we'll have a whole kind of selection of categories to choose from. Right now, upwards of 4, and a whole slew of questions under each category. We'll be working with mental health professionals as well to get feedback on some of the questions we have. Last thing we want is to ask questions that trigger and then don't give us space to leave regulated. So we're going through the process to make sure that those questions feel good and aren't going to just kick up a bunch of stuff and leave people feeling not great, but rather help people find resolution and regulation. And that'll all live on the MCY website. And it'll be quite a series of questions that we'll
Yeah, it's
have
pretty
on there.
cool. I like it. It's like an art. It seems very artistic, kind of performance arty. And
Yeah.
so, are you saying the chairs are going to be made from used skis?
Correct.
Correct. Okay. So that shouldn't be too hard to find. Are you going to put out a call for that out somehow? Like, this is the first time I've kind of heard you guys are looking for skis. I thought
Yeah,
I
we
had
did.
chairs. I'm not sure if I got rid of them or not. But
We put
where
a call
would we
out
drop them
through.
off?
We put a call out through Teens Inc. comms. So on the Teens Inc. Facebook, Instagram, newsletter. And then I put in a call to Eldora as well and asked for them to keep an eye out. They said when they do their end of year cleanup is when they get most of those skis. So probably in the next couple of months here, Eldora will hopefully have a whole slew of those
Just
for
like
us.
stuff. Yeah, cool. Okay, well, if you need more, I guess you'll put out another call. And do we just drop them off at the teen center?
Yep. If you just bring them right to the teen center and say they're for the Listen Longer project, anyone at the front desk will know exactly what to do with them.
And you guys have like a plan to build these? Like, that's kind of cool in and of itself, because that it seems like it might be hard to do, but you've got someone to help you. Ty is going to help you. Is that what I was hearing?
Yep. Yeah. And I think the other
How many skis per chair do you think it's going to be?
depends on the design you're looking at. On average, I'm looking at around 8 pairs of skis per chair.
Oh yeah. Okay, so you need a lot. Okay. Well, I think it's great. Thank you guys for doing this.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the feedback. We appreciate it.
I have a quick question. Are you going to be building them in the school shop at the high school? Is that the building location, or are you still looking for a place?
We're still looking for a spot, but I'm pretty sure that could be an option if we needed it. Yeah.
Okay. Probably NetEd's be a good spot too to put the call out for both space and extra skis.
Very true.
I forget when the community garage sale is here, but the last
It's May
Mount Form.
30th, 31st, and the 1st.
Is it garage though?
Oh, the Mountain
It's
Form.
Mountain Forum for Peace Community Sale.
Okay.
that's a big one this year.
Yep.
Because that last year there was a bunch of skis that ended
Oh.
up out there in the,
Yeah.
like free giveaway.
awesome.
bill.
The cleanup day is June
Ma-
2nd, 7th, and a lot of people will be throwing away things.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Skis.
I'm with Nikki. Like you guys, 8 chairs sounds about right. Actually, if I can think of at least 8 spots that we can put these. So,
Be awesome.
um,
And I can guarantee there's going to be a lot of skis. I'm on the board and I helped set it up.
Yeah.
And there are so many skis.
Yeah, we like that. We need them. That'd be great. We appreciate it.
and actually, I've seen these in action before in Merida in Mexico. Where they have a lot of these in public spaces,
Oh.
and you do see like kind of young and old people sitting together on them. So,
Nice.
I think this is going to be great.
Awesome. Love to hear that.
Yeah. So super
Nice.
excited for you guys.
Really appreciate the support. And yeah, thank you all so much for really excited by the project. And it's great to see just the feedback from anywhere we've presented. We did an assembly at the high school. We'll be presenting to the Teens Inc. board. It's just been an overwhelming level of support. So just really appreciating that level of community support that's coming through to this project. So thank you all. It really means a lot.
Thank you all. We appreciate it.
If we can't find a place to build them, we can build them in my backyard. So
Perfect. That'd
Yeah.
be great.
Yeah.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
That's right.
Thank you again. Appreciate you all.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Youth Leadership Academy. With that, we will transition to the number 2 informational item, which is transition from ice to tennis pickleball season.
Mayor and trustees, our hockey boards are pretty valuable. They're worth quite a bit of money, and every time we move them, we have to put holes in them and they become damaged. And it's getting to the point where I think that it's something that we don't really want to continue, just so that we can continue to use them. There's some opportunities in the future for us to do some repairs to them, and that's something we want to do. But for this year, we don't think it's a good idea to move them. And so what that would mean is that we'd need to change essentially the biggest change would be how the tennis is oriented. So what we've done is talk to ProSab during their March meeting about this issue. And in the interest of preserving those boards, they think the best option would be just to do the east-west tennis court layout, the one court. There wouldn't be any changes to pickleball access, and that court would be still fully functional in that east-west configuration. I think ProSab still is interested in looking at, and look, I don't know if you want to say any more about this, but looking at some better tennis options in the future just to make sure we maintain a tennis space in the community. But for right now, this seems like a good balance between preserving those boards and keeping tennis going. So if you have any questions for me, I'm happy to answer.
Seems pretty straightforward. I don't know that I have any questions. I, take your guys' recommendations and everything. And I know this is just an informational item, but I mean, that seems like the damage that's happening this seems like the best way to move forward.
We do have money for a match for the improvements at the rink we've been discussing. And that's
Mhm.
something I think ProSab also has on their plans for this year to try to move that along as well. So I think ultimately what we're trying to do is build a little bit of, keep working on that facility.
Yeah. Okay. Any other?
Yeah. Yeah, I just don't know. Is there, like presently with the north-south, is there one court or two?
There's room for two.
So what do they do usually in the summers? Is that?
I think
it's been?
there's not a huge volume of people playing on the courts. One of the issues is the way the sun is, and I know that there's some concerns about that. And so I think that's something we want to answer long term. That's, I think, the biggest concern.
Yeah.
Hats and sunglasses for the interim.
Cool. Any other questions for these guys? Great. Well, thank you. That sounds like a good idea. Go easy on those boards. Number 3, information item number 3, road maintenance schedule and level of service.
I am going to present on this one as well. Josh Davis has really done a good job with the streets department, trying to build these levels of service agreements with the community to kind of talk about the work we're doing in the community. And they have a pretty big load. They have to do all the culvert cleaning, repairing ditches, and then all the grading of the roads. And so what he's been doing is putting together these schedules for how we do this work and trying to make sure that this is information that we can publish to the community. We did this with snow removal, and it was very effective this winter. And so we're just trying to continue that with our summer work. So he's got 2 levels of service agreements that are kind of a part of this overall aim.
Mm-hmm. Well, the team's already been up into Big Springs and helped get those really nasty potholes. I mean, I'll say it again. He's been incredibly proactive, and it's been so amazing, just to see the volume of number of, complaints about streets just continue to plummet. And so it just, again, make sure he hears our gratitude around that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I can definitely vouch for Old Town too. There were some bad ones, and drove in there one day and was so used to feeling it, and when I didn't feel it, it felt weird.
They're a great crew. They also just got a new member who will be starting pretty soon, like next couple weeks. So I think I agree, they've been doing a great job for the town. They're also trying to be very responsive. So if there is comments about how work needs to happen, or if there are potholes that we need to address, or trees or anything like that, they really want to be responsive to that need. So.
And you are going to publish this to the community?
Yeah, this will be,
Okay.
well, we're going to turn it into like a website, and then it'll
Perfect.
be on the webpage.
Yeah.
Is there a plan for the stretch between the peak to peak in front of the Caribou Room and the Wild Bear Center and the start of School Road, where it's just kind of
Just
Yes.
that first stretch.
yeah.
Josh could probably answer this better. I am confused about what is town owned and what is.
Yeah.
That's right now, right?
Is it?
But yeah,
town-owned?
that was my I mean that's what that's kind of what I was
The
asking.
county crews are out. They were working on Caribou the other day, and I know that I'll reach out to Josh, and he can talk to his counterpart at the
Yeah.
county.
I mean,
and
I
I
know
can get
it's
back to
it's
you on it.
town property on both sides of the road there, but I don't know if the road itself
think-
is
yeah.
actually town.
It's getting kind of pummeled by the Wild Bear construction too.
Yeah, and they dug up a bunch of it, and then it
Yeah.
didn't get repaved, so there's big dirt. And then wherever the town started paving for School Road, that bump is.
Dude, big big.
I'm surprised the BVSD hasn't started billing us for suspension on the school buses from what I hear.
I'll follow up with Josh on both concerns.
That's a good point. Thank you. Yeah, actually don't spend much time on netheads, but when I do, I often see Josh has posted something proactively about, like incoming weather or just and then I think his proactive kind of approach there to let people know what's happening is awesome. But generally the replies to him are really what's even better. Like people are really psyched with his work. So any other questions or comments? Not his work, but the whole, department's work.
His leadership, though.
And his
Yeah.
his leadership does get
100% turned
yeah.
over when he took
Yeah.
charge.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Tanya. I want to reiterate that people have come up to me and said like best ever, and I've been here 30 years. It's best ever of being responsive and proactive and doing stuff. So
He's
we should
gonna
be really, really happy to have him on our team and the rest. And he's a good leader because he's got great employees, and part of that's being a great leader. So
that's gonna make his day that y'all said that. So
Well, and it's awesome. He started a book drive for Kimba and Jeff to
yeah,
help fill their shelves when they reopen.
he's also on the food pantry board now.
Yeah,
that's great. Yeah.
that is
Thank you.
awesome.
All right, so I'm assuming this next one is you then too.
Yes.
John.
So this one's actually a kind of an interesting story. Salt storage buildings are better for the environment because it keeps everything contained on a slab. And so a couple of years ago, we got one that it was supposedly build it yourself. And it got here and it was
Mhm.
not build it yourself at all, like not even close. So in the budget, you guys did approve this already. What we're trying to do is bring information items to you just so you have an idea that this work is being completed, just so that we can have some, just so staff is showing you the work being done. And so what you have here is just this, the work that we're doing to build this salt storage building, which was approved in the budget. It came in on a pretty good price, and they're going to work with us to make sure it's secure and everything is done properly. But it's a really good step for us to take in Nederland just to make sure that we keep our road materials in the best practice kind of way.
Yeah, let's do it.
Thank you. Any questions or comments for Jen? Oh, hearing none. We'll go ahead to our one and only action item of the evening, the charge point plan renewal quote.
Hi, this is Cass online. I'll be presenting this item. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, coming in loud and clear. Thanks, Cass.
Great. So with the charge point renewal quote, we were unaware as staff and when the budget was being prepared that this was an ongoing expense that needs to be accounted for. And so we received an email from ChargePoint's renewal representative, and they informed us that the cloud plan expired on March 19th. We ran into some issues just with confidentiality statements and trying to get rid of those so that we could share the quotes with the BOT and the public. And so we eventually were able to get those quotes without the confidentiality statements. And that's why this is coming to you kind of late in April. And really the main thing that needs to be decided here is between going with a 1, 2, or 3-year contract for this ChargePoint cloud plan, and then the Assure maintenance and management plan, which is really their like warranty for parts, and it includes like labor and parts for any repair that needs to be done. And I should have said this is for the level 2 ChargePoint EV charger. So not the DC fast charger. That is still getting running. This is the one that has been in place. And so on the AIM, I have a table of the price breakdown, but essentially going with a multi-year contract of 3 years is going to save the town $340 rather than renewing every single year, so on an annual basis. And staff would like direction from the board on whether you want us to pursue the 3-year ChargePoint subscription
for the cloud plan and the Assure maintenance and management plan? Or would you prefer to go with the 1 or 2 year renewal? And this would be budgeted under planning and zoning.
Just to clarify, Cass, what was our previous subscription?
I believe we were subscribed to the cloud plan and not the Assure maintenance and management. I think it was an annual subscription.
Okay, so yeah, so we were renewing each year.
I'm not totally sure because I wasn't around the last time it needed to be renewed, but that's what I
Yes.
understood.
Yeah, we were renewing each year. This is Britt.
Okay. I guess my question for both of you is whether or not there's a potential situation where we would want the flexibility to have it on an annual basis rather than multi-year.
Yeah, I think that with the cloud plan, that allows us to operate the charge point station remotely. So it's still out in operation right now, and people are able to use it. We just can't change anything on the like online dashboard. And since it's a charge point charger, I'm not sure that any other like kind of software would work with it. So for the cloud plan, I think it makes sense for us to renew for multiple years for that. And then in my opinion, the Assure maintenance and management plan would be good to have so that if we do need to repair it for any reason, then that would be covered. And I think these chargers, they're not meant to last for 50 years, but based on the timeline, I think 3 years isn't like too long for like what its life expectancy would be.
And this is Britt. I would say I would have to relook at the numbers, but I think my like thought process in the benefits of like a 3-year versus an annual is it sets us into a fixed rate. Where if they choose to increase costs like everything else is going, this would kind of set us up for just like a set flat rate for at least 3 years to prepare for budgeting wise. But I would have to look at those numbers to provide if we've seen increases year to year. I think that would really be probably the main benefit with that like additional 340 off.
And do we have to pay that all up front, or if it's a 3-year contract, do we pay, annually, or do we pay for the 3 years up front?
That is a great question. Cass, do you know that by chance?
I
want to say
am
it's
just,
upfront.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say that
Yeah.
is well, but I'm trying to pull up my email to double check.
Yeah, so if we previously had the cloud plan or one, I guess, or port, regardless, it's a $70 difference. But if we had only budgeted 300 and they want us to pay up front for 3 years, right? That's a 10x increase.
Correct. Yeah, we don't technically have that budgeted, so that like that full amount budgeted this year. So that's definitely a concern.
Yeah, I guess similar, to Trustee Maris. I'm interested if it has to be paid up front, what do we get? Okay, if the rates are locked in, what do the rates look like over time to increase? I mean, also just flexibility and being able to renew, that does give you the ability to negotiate fees. So
Yeah.
if, sure, they could go up, but that still doesn't preclude us from being able to negotiate them and being able
Correct.
to negotiate them on each year, because maybe we got locked in at a high rate. And, for some reason, we could see that we could argue for having lower rates.
Yeah, I think that's a very valid point. I don't really think we have a super strong opinion of either way. I think there's like pros and cons to both, honestly.
Okay.
And I think you
Yeah,
bring
I
up a
agree.
valid point. We can negotiate because, I mean, things are changing from year to year, you know, especially politically. So I think that does give us wiggle room to, you know, make some negotiations in the future if pricing goes up.
Mm-hmm.
What about if, like, I'm kind of naive and I have an electric car, but what about if technology changes? Would they adjust that with us, or say there's just some new way, some new form of technology? Is there anything written in there that would, adjust their service to a potential change in technology? Or is that just, we got to go back to the drawing board if that happens?
I
Yeah,
don't
I
think
think for the level 2, I mean, essentially, they're going to stay the same. They're kind of becoming like an outdated model. And so they would continue to keep it running. It is slower. And obviously, a lot of our time and energy, once this level 3 goes up, would probably more so go into that. I think it's really just the maintenance of keeping it going, like keeping it running, keeping it charging. And then if it ultimately dies, there would probably be a like, okay, what's next? What's covered? They really just cover like the something breaks, something falls, you know, a fuse pops, something along that lines.
I was going to agree with Britt. There is a charging standard happening next year. Everyone's going to what the Tesla charger is, but that'll be for the higher power chargers. And so I think these level 2s will be like a legacy deal as well.
I mean, what's it look like in places where they go to level 3? Do the level 2s just sit there unused, or do they just remove them?
I think they still have some utility. My car is a hybrid and mine only charges on level 2s. And so I think there's still quite a few cars like that out there that could use that technology.
Yeah, it seems likely used car market will be strong for a while with these tariffs. So yeah, that's good. That's interesting.
And it looks like the Assure coverage previously ended in November 2021. Have we had any issues or like maintenance that we've had to do since then? And what were the costs like?
Yes. So we had, right when I got here, the unit was damaged. The screen wasn't working. And then we had some issues with its cellular connectivity. And I think, Britt, that was like the majority of it, but they replaced the head unit of it essentially.
For free?
Under warranty. I think that's right, Britt? I think.
Are you talking about the level 2?
Yeah.
I believe so. I know it was relocated last year, and so I believe some maintenance came with it.
Yeah.
I am not 100% sure since I was kind of brought into the charging world last year.
What is the warranty that we have? And are we bumping up against that?
For our level 2, I believe we don't have a warranty on it anymore, which is kind of the push for this maintenance.
Mhm.
The only
Mhm.
warranty we currently have is on our level 3 charger that is, I am aggressively still working on.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, and so actually now if I, re-looking at this, we have to pay for both ports. So we're essentially probably paying like $670 right now. We don't have the maintenance. So the maintenance is the additional cost if we were just to renew on a yearly basis.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and we also have a contractor that we've kind of been using with this level 3. And so I would say the other option is, we take the maintenance with this for this annual, year and see how it goes and maybe start negotiating with him to see if he could offer like some kind of contract where he does maintenance on both of them. Might be a good thing to look into as budgeting season is, we're kind of preparing for that early this year.
Okay. Gotcha.
Does the Assure maintenance plan, does that cover the cost of hardware? I mean, like if the head unit goes out again, or is it just like covering labor, service?
So the description is that it includes parts and labor, remote technical support, on-site repairs when needed, unlimited configuration changes, and reporting.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Is this all parts, or is this just, is there a list that it says, oh, only these select parts can be covered by this plan?
I do not have the list of that. There's no note that says that only certain parts are covered, but that is not something, yeah, that I have a answer to right now.
Any more clarifying questions before we go to public comment? Hearing none, we'll go ahead and go to public comment. Any public comment in the room on chargers? If not, folks online, any public comment on this charge point renewal? Okay, seeing or hearing none, I'll bring it back to the board for discussion and a motion.
I just have one
This
question.
is kind of, actually real quick, and I apologize, I'll let you go, Tanya. I just want to, so this is an action item, but I see you want, just direction from the board. Do we need a formal motion, or is answering these questions? It seems like we would need a motion. Okay, go ahead, Tanya.
The charge, that we kind of absorb that, like we get it back from the fees that we charge. Like, does it all kind of like a wash?
The level 2 charger doesn't bring in as much income. I would have to have Rita look at the numbers. But it obviously is used until this level 3 is up. I'm not sure that it would necessarily wash it out. I don't think we quite make that much. But I can double check it and email you guys those numbers if you want those.
That's just something to consider. If in the future we want to add more electric chargers, is the question will be, can we afford to do it? Because if we're spending this money and not getting it back. But for now, I would just say, why not do the 3 years? It's a little cheaper and we're not planning on taking them out. Does anyone think that's a bad idea?
What do other trustees think?
Yeah, I'll let other ones go for me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just doing a little bit of math on this. I mean, the 1 year plan hardly saves, or the 2 year plan hardly saves us anything, and the 3 year plan is, yeah, like $100 a year in savings. And given the highly volatile nature of that industry and the market, it seems to me that we actually might want to be switching over to the level 3 charger as soon as possible, or something else, and like just things could crop up. 3 years, this is an eternity in the EV world, so I wouldn't be surprised if we are facing a need or desire to swap out the chargers in that 3 year time. And to me, it doesn't seem like worth doing
Okay, that makes sense.
just to save $100 a year.
Yeah.
How much, oh, go ahead, Nicole. Go ahead, Tanya.
No, I was saying that makes sense. Yeah. I don't want to, yeah. So.
How much staff time goes into this every year?
This project for the contract has taken too much time just because we're trying to get that confidentiality stuff out. We have spent a little bit of time setting rates, which we probably would want to do again before the fee schedule comes out at the end of the year. But Cass and Britt, the level 3 charger has taken Britt too much time because they've had, I don't know how many problems, Britt, but Britt's done a really good job keeping on track. But once that thing's been running, has it been problematic for you guys, or?
Honestly, before Cass came on, I would say I didn't spend much time working through this website, except for to make sure it was, we were good to set up for deposits going into the bank. Very minimum time. The level 3 is a different story. But yeah, very minimum time on this. We can go online and see comments made, the amounts that we're getting, and then it essentially just deposits everything directly into the bank account for funds received.
Okay. And then how much time is spent on these renewals?
this one was kind of weird because of this whole confidentiality thing. So I would say in the future, hopefully less time, but it's taken quite a few back and forth emails. Now that Cass and I kind of know what's coming with this, if this charger continues to work and we continue to use it, I think it should take us hopefully just like 2 to 3 emails versus going through this whole back and forth again. They're just not very quick to move on that kind of stuff. They just want you to get the renewal done.
The other thing is that this wasn't included in the budget, and so that's why we've spent extra time trying to, bring this before you and an aim and everything. So I think ideally it would we would include it while we're working through the rest of the budget as well.
Okay, thank you. Other comments from the BOT?
Yeah, my thoughts would be it's saving $340 over 3 years. I don't know. It's like not extensive savings in my mind. The 1-year renewal gives you a little bit more flexibility to revisit and negotiate on some of those things. So I don't know. I'm just to be locked in for 3 years versus have some of the flexibility. I think I would be more keen to just do a year-long contract. But and then as if the market does change and we, it's Trustee Miller had mentioned moving it to more of the level 3s, then that gives us the flexibility to do that when we want. But like you said, John, there is still a demand out there for level 2, but maybe there's other opportunities that come to us. Maybe we have the ability to have more chargers in town. And so then what does that do? Do we want that flexibility to negotiate? So, yeah.
Tanya and Tierney, what are you thinking?
I don't really have, I think, super strong feelings. I think it could really go either way. I get the idea of being locked in for 3 years and that prevents it from being increased over the next 3 years as, inflation happens or whatever. But I think like Nicole has said as well, prices could go down because if there's an increased demand for a level 3, then maybe level 2s become cheaper. Who knows what could happen. So I don't feel super strongly either way. But given what our budget looked like this year, I think every dollar kind of counts. And so I think I'd be leaning more towards a 1 year. Yeah.
Thanks. Tanya?
Yeah, I mean, you guys talked me into it. I was just thinking, oh, let's just do it and not have to think about this for 3 years. But it's true. You're right. Technology could change. I was kind of assuming like if technology changed, they would come and like change our machines out or something, since we're kind of like leasing them from them. Is that kind of the deal? We don't own the machines.
Apparently we own them from the.
Oh, we own them.
We
So
do.
they're
Yep.
just the people who handle the money and fix it if they need it fixed. Okay. Well, anyway, 1 year is fine. If you want, I can make a motion or someone else can.
Okay, well, yeah, and I full disclosure, I don't have enough brain bandwidth to waste much brain damage on this issue, so I'm gonna just go with the majority. But we do need people to look at these questions and put them into motions.
So if you're feeling spicy, Tanya, go ahead and make a motion.
Oh, okay. You hear me still? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So let me get the aim up. Wait, where'd it go? No, there it is. Will I make a motion to renew our charge point plan renewal for 1 year at the price of $13.90? Is that good enough? I don't have the aim in front of me, so.
Does that suffice?
Does that?
That's great. That's
cover
wonderful.
everything?
All right, we've got an approval. Yes.
Second.
Yeah, motion and second. Yeah, I just want to say you guys, I mean, I don't want to be flippant about it. You guys did give good logic, so makes sense. Thank you. Go for it with it.
Trustee Miller,
Yes.
Trustee Ty,
Yes.
Mayor Billy,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sterling,
Yes.
Trustee Maris,
Yes.
and Trustee Corvalon.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion's approved.
Thank you all. The motion is approved. That is our one and only action item. Right now, we have time for public comment on non-agenda items. Public comment on non-agenda items. Everyone's interested in give a public comment?
Are we gonna get
We'll
one?
start in the room.
Oh, boy.
3 minutes,
She's
please.
moving. She's coming over.
Oh.
Kayla Evans, 1250 Eldora Road. Thank you, board. Just want you all to know that I had a wonderful meeting yesterday with the town administrator to start the process on Bobcat Ridge and get some motion finally happening on this long overdue piece of property that will, I hope, create some wonderful options for our community and be multi-leveled in its ability to bring more than just housing to this community. I think it will have a lot of effects on a lot of different things. I've always said it's like this. Everything affects everything. It affects the schools, it affects the business, it affects everything. So thank you all, and I look forward to working with you. And I think this is really exciting. And even in the times we're living, which is a challenge right now, thank you for all your work. It's an amazing. I've looked up more 4-letter words and I've used more 4-letter words than I thought I knew in my vocabulary. And I already knew a lot. So thank you all again. And I look forward to working with you. And thank you for all the work you're doing right now to kind of help start this ball rolling down the hill and this wonderful, talented man here. So I look forward to it, guys. Thanks. Let's put some housing in this town. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Kayla. Would you mind, Kayla, would you mind just, after we're done with this, I have other items. I just wanted to ask you something. It's a fun thing. It has nothing to do with Bobcat Ridge, and I appreciate your comments on Bobcat Ridge, but I want your opinion on this other thing a little, within about a minute or two.
Oh, outside of the board meeting?
No, just.
Oh, right now you have.
No other business. We'll make it other business. I just want to make sure folks online. Is there anyone online? Jana, do you have any public comment on non-agenda items? Or anyone online? The hearing none, we'll go to other business. So mine is, as you may know or may not know, Sundance is now going to be coming to Boulder.
Oh, I
Boulder
know.
won it from Park City
Yeah.
in 2027. And when I first heard about that from the mayor, I was at a mayor meeting and the mayor of Estes Park was there, and apparently they're going to do a lot of things there. And we're just hoping would you want to do some Sundance shows here?
Roads.
Good.
We have some connections there and we've already contacted them about
good.
being a venue for something.
Yeah.
And I think that could be a real positive. They're going to need more venues. They don't have enough screens. And why not come up here to our town and enjoy the Nederlandism of what Sundance can be. And we can add to it and it'll be a positive for the town and everything else. So yeah, I think it looks like might be a real fun thing happening.
I think it could be real fun. Zoe and I moved here. I used to live in Colorado and we moved to Utah for 9 years and lived in Park City for 4 of those. And so they center it around Park City and fill up all the theaters and venues there. But they're like every theater in the Wasatch Front, most of them also is hosting events. So from Provo all the way to Ogden, Salt Lake, there were tons of theaters showing stuff. So I think the Backdoor Theater would be an incredible venue that people would definitely come. So.
Well, thank goodness we have a history to tell them. I mean, we're not just a fly-by-night thing that just put up a screen because you're moving to Colorado. We have history and they want to see that we have a track record before they commit to anything. You know, we're a positive entity. So I think it gives us a little bit of credibility that we'll need to show them that, hey, this could be a real fun thing. And I'm hoping that we get you know, I said anything that has Brad Pitt or
Kayla.
Ru- 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 I'm done. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Any other business?
Yeah,
Hearing
so,
none?
other business real
Yeah.
quick. John, my neighbor, Uncle Jerry, he's been here for 30 plus years. He had mentioned that down at the town, the water treatment plant, there is a garage door that is typically left open and the lights on, and it shines very brightly up into Big Springs. I said I would bring it up or at least contact you.
That's
but-
awesome. Thank you for doing
but
that.
For those, but so it's just, it's really bright. And so just either if we could close the door or let Andrew know, that would be greatly appreciated.
We'll get it done. And sorry about that to the neighbor.
No, that's okay. It's, I'll let Uncle Jerry know.
I like that kind of business. Turn off the lights.
Yep.
Any other business? Do I hear a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Macy?
Mayor Billy,
Yes.
Trustee Miller,
Yes.
Trustee Corvalon,
Yes.
Trustee Ty,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sterling,
Yes.
and Trustee Maris.
Yes.
Thank you. This meeting is adjourned at 8:40 p.m.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate your time.
Good night.